The Volquest 2-minute drill is brought to you by Craven Wings.
Craven Wings 2-minute drill. Hubbard, how do you describe it, man? Tennessee was spectacular, 52-49, a big win, massive win, program-changing, defining win. I said this, in our, little instant reacts thing. With the Vol Walk, there was this huge gust of wind. These leaves went flying, and I just kept in thought, and I said, winds of change. And buddy, this place, 18 months ago, this place was in ruins.
Yeah, I mean, my instant reaction is, holy hell, they won the game. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, that's kind of where.
Is that what you said on the broadcast?
That's what I felt like saying on the broadcast. Because there was just in the second half, there was those couple of moments where you thought, here it is. This is where it comes.
Dallas Turner.
Right. This is where it falls.
They're setting
apart.
up. It was setting up for heartbreak again with the field goal.
Right. So you're just like, and so to get to that point, you're just like, literally like, they won. And that was the thing. But to your point, where they were to where they are now is the story. I mean, to me,
that's the story of college football.
That's my story. That's the column I'm working on. I had a chance to visit with the chancellor, and the chancellor talked about it. She goes, 18 months ago, I made people mad. We cleaned house, basically said we're starting over, and that didn't make everybody happy, but we had to have a fresh start, and we got it. And I asked Danny White specifically on the pregame show, I said, why was Josh Heupel the right answer? Because he doesn't flinch. He doesn't flinch in any moment. And you know what? His football team didn't flinch one time in this football game. And to me, that's the remarkable thing about the last 18 months under Josh Heupel.
Let's look back at the game. 5 touchdowns for Jalen Hyatt. 5. The previous record was 3, and it was owned by like 47 different receivers. When he got to 4, he broke it, and then he got the 5th that tied the game after the Alabama scoop and score. I mean, he was spectacular and just remains low-key, remains kind of like driven, but is also refreshingly honest. Hendon Hooker's a lot of, business. You pointed out, I mean, Jalen Hyatt's like, man, they were smoking cigars 3 minutes ago and 4 minutes to go last year, and I had to look at it. I lit me one up.
Yeah, and again, I find him refreshing because of where he was a year ago. Head down,
wearing a hood, walking out.
For him to be having the experience he has right now, it's what college athletics is supposed to be about. Okay,
sure.
Let's just be real honest. Whether it's happening at another school or it's happening at the school you cover, it's what college athletics is supposed to be about. I'll say this too, hats off to Alex Golish, because man, they knew Alabama's safety couldn't cover him. And they moved Jalen Hyatt around. They worked different formations, different things to get him isolated on the safety when they got in some man stuff. And Jalen Hyatt ran by him all night long. Really good schematics from Alex Golish and Josh Heupel in their game planning.
The closing sequence I thought was epitome of college football. You've got former Virginia Tech player throwing to former USC player, setting up the game-winning field goal by a former USC player. And I know it's going around college football, but like that transfer portal, if you get the right guys and they mesh and gel and kind of fit right into the old school rivalry like this, can make some plays.
Yeah, no doubt. But then throw in this. You got a veteran in Ramel Keaton who stayed around, made a play. Let's talk about the offensive line up front. Darnell Wright doesn't bolt when everybody else bolts.
Yep.
He rides it out. That group up front today, when you talk about the game, not the big picture and all the metaphors and all those things, just the X's and O's of raw performance, Glenn Ellerby's group today was unbelievable. I mean, if you'd have told me Hendon Hooker was going to get sacked one time and he would have the clean pocket to throw in that he had to throw in throughout the day, I would have told you no, that wasn't going to happen. And they ran the ball effectively.
You guys heard me throughout the week talk about Darnell Wright and him giving me a quote that I did not use. His quote was, and I said, what's your goals individually, both for you and for the team the rest of the year? And he said, smoke some cigars and smoke everybody else. And I said, I'm not going to use that unless you win, but if you win, I will pull it out. And so there you go. Again, looking out for the kid because it would have been big-time news if I had run that quote. But at the same time, after the fact, Big 58 smoked him a cigar, and you're right. He is a great testimony to hanging in there. You saw his quotes with me earlier in the week. Guy just, stuck it out when everybody else bolted. And you can't sit around and think that those kids at Oklahoma and number 10 over there in white and a few others aren't going, man, if I'd known they weren't going to be this good so fast, I wouldn't have left. Oh, well.
Well, and throw in Javante Sprague and Jerome Carvin. I had a chance
2 tackles for loss and 1 sack given up
yeah.
against guys that were ballyhooed all week long.
Well,
and they're dudes.
good.
They're dudes.
Yeah, they're
they're
really
dudes.
good.
I mean,
They're really
that's
good.
a huge game for the offensive line.
Yeah, they were terrific. And they've been terrific for the last 2 weeks, really starting to come together. Thought the running backs ran hard. Defensively, look, they're going to give up yards. It's who they are. But Tim Banks said, we're coming. And look, there's a bunch of missed sacks because the quarterback's really elusive. But they're coming, and they're going to keep coming. And, I thought Jeremy Banks played his best football game.
It's a money game for Jeremy Banks.
Yeah.
Money game for 33. I said that in the first half. This is a game where guys like Jeremy Banks make themselves some money. You get drafted, and you bet your bottom dollar that these highlights from tonight will be a part of it. We've got complete coverage. We've got our instant reacts up. We've got Coach Heupel up, the players. We've got a quartet of players talk to us. Brent caught up with Ivan Mizell to talk the beating Bama and big picture. Of course, this is, the Craven Wings 2-minute drill. We'll have the podcast coming up. Rob's got 4 downs. You name it, we've got it. Tennessee 6-0. Hey, they're bowl eligible, Hubs.
Hey, be safe out there, but enjoy.
When you're Craven Wings, it's got to be Craven Wings. Online at cravenwings.com.